Hello and welcome to this brand new edition of You ORNS Post Match. We're live now on YouTube and on X. And of course, it is on the back of another Watford victory. Watford 3, Stoke 0, the final score today. It is a happy recap for the third consecutive game out of three. The Hornets get the job done with a 3-0 victory. They were superb today in this game, especially in the second half, were the Golden Boys, as they dominated Stoke really for much of the game. After Stoke came very close to winning the game, or scoring first, I should say, in the second minute, Watford came in and really subdued Stoke. What Stoke did that I thought was a big mistake today was to play so narrow defensively, meaning that they were giving up so much width on the left and the right flanks of the pitch. It was not a smart strategy from Stoke, and I don't understand why they did that. We had the rum and the green on the left and right flanks. Jeremy Ngakia, the problem for him, he was a right footer, and so you really can't have a right footer playing down the left flank. And that was the thing that stopped this from being a 6-0 game, because if it was Ken Sema or Larucci who had started this game, we would have been away 5 or 6-0 in this one. I want to thank every Watford fan for joining. Welcome aboard You ORNS Post Match on X and live on YouTube at the You ORNS WFC YouTube channel. Always a pleasure to have Watford fans in the building. After another happy recap, Watford 3, Stoke City 0. This was a game that you saw a mature Watford side. A mature Watford side that stepped to the plate today. You can see the stature of these lads growing, the confidence of these lads growing, Tom Cleverley's stature growing as the head coach, and the fan base all on the good foot today, as a atmosphere at the Vic that you don't usually get in home games was a really happy, sunny, upbeat atmosphere. We've not really felt that for too many games over the last few seasons, but today Watford supporters can walk out of the building feeling very optimistic about Watford today. Hit that request button, have your say about Watford today, what your thoughts were on the contest, who was your man of the match, what do Watford need for the transfer window in the next 2 weeks, and what are the rumors around Wesley Hood? Is he staying? Is he going? I don't think Wesley Hood's going anywhere, but apparently there are reports that have said that he is off to Saudi Arabia. I don't know how true any of that is, but we will see if it does materialize. But today, you didn't need Wesley Hood, did you? I thought this defense did an outstanding job. Matty Pollock, his leadership grows by leaps and bounds. He's had a very good week, Matty Pollock. This is a player who was on the fringes of this team last season, a player who wanted to play more football, was even close to leaving the team, leaving the club. But look, Tom Cleverley has invested in him. He believes in him. And what you now see from Matty Pollock is a player who has confidence in himself and obviously now is beginning to take up some leadership in that defense. I thought the defending today was very, very good, very well organized, back lot. Look, the bottom line is you had the back three today. James Morris didn't do as badly as I thought he might, but the back three today was solid. No Ryan Porteous. He was benched for illness, didn't see any minutes in this game at all. But I thought that Watford's defending was absolutely stellar. I think that might go under the radar from many reports and people talking today, because this Watford defense did an outstanding job. A clean sheet. That's 2 clean sheets inside of 4 days. Of course, back on Tuesday, it was 5-0 against the MK Dons, and today 3-0 over a very strong, stubborn Stoke side. But Stoke made too many mistakes today. They did not change up their lineup enough, their formation enough. You cannot let us have that flank. We had so much joy down that left side, and that showed in the first half. And as I said earlier, had it been a Ken Sema down that left flank instead of a Jeremy Ngakia, we could have really run away with this contest today. But as it stood, we dominated the contest. 3 second-half goals, especially that second half. We were irresistible. Kayembe scoring 2 goals today. He has 3 on the season now in the championship, 3 and 2 for him, and looking very, very good on that right side. Some fans criticize that, but you can't criticize that now. Some Watford fans even said to me that they thought this lot were going down before the Millwall game. And I really didn't understand how you could be saying relegation for Watford, even with the lack of transfers that we've had so far. I do not think that this team was going to be anywhere near relegation. Yes, we had one moment last season where we were nervous about that. But look, Watford are not going to be going down. I felt that way before this season began. And even if we don't do that well in the transfer market, I think the attitude is the key thing with this team that has really turned around. One of the things that you might notice if you've watched this game is the way that this lot do not sit on a 1-0 lead. You notice that last season, seasons past, we would have sat on a 1-0 and we would have been content to see the game out. Tom Cleverley ain't going to allow that. And this team isn't going to allow that either. After that goal from Ido Kayembe in the 47th minute, within 90 seconds later, Ryan Andrews coming in with the goal to double Watford's lead. That's the kind of thing we've not seen a lot of at the Vic. These players were on fire today in that second half. And of course, Ido Kayembe scored a second goal soon thereafter to make it 3. He should have had a hat-trick. Larouci stole a march in on his path and took a shot at goal himself. Larouci, by the way, was fabulous to start this game, his first championship game. He looked really good. I thought he elevated the play in the second half. Georgie was outstanding in this game. Again, another fine game for him. He's looking like a genuine article as well as Larouci is. Larouci, I was thoroughly impressed with. TDB, it was a team performance today. Matty Pollock, as I've said, I thought that Musa Sissoko was quietly effective today. I really liked the way he played. TDB's determination with the ball. He almost always pushes us forward. Very much a forward-thinking player, even in that holding role. I really enjoyed the way that TDB played. He lost maybe one or two duels today, but other than that, TDB, absolutely sensational. Very good football from him. And I also love the way that the other players played around there, like Bio. Bio actually further up the pitch, I should say. Bio had a fantastic game. He didn't score. He did have a header cleared off the line. It was a rather tame header, stooping shot after a Larouci cross in the second half in front of the rookery. The ball looked like it was about to trickle over the line, but a Stoke defender cleared it off the line just before it could go completely over. But I thought that Bio had a terrific game today. Do not be fooled. I know he gets some stick because he doesn't score often enough, but I'd have 15 Bios if I could on this team. Better to have players that give you effort 110% every week than players who score in and out but don't do anything else to help the team. And Bio is a team player. You want to have team players in this particular Watford side. I thought that when Bio came off, there wasn't enough punch coming in from the likes of Rajovic, who scored the winner last week. He was very quiet this week in the minutes that he got to play. He came in, I think, around the 60-minute mark or 65 minutes or thereabouts, whenever it was. But I thought that Rajovic did not really get into the game a lot today. And it's like that for strikers. You're feeding off scraps. But I thought that Bio, when he was in, was very industrious indeed. I think to myself that someone like a Bio, he really deserved a goal today. There's two players on this Watford side today who really deserved a goal for their hard work. One of them was Bio. The other one was Georgie. Both of those players deserved a goal today to go with their efforts. I thought both of them were excellent. And people are going to overlook Bio. I think some of us, as Watford supporters, will overlook Bio, some of us. But I thought that Bio had a terrific game today, and he deserved a goal. He really did, as did Georgie, who had a couple of shots. One of them was skied over the crossbar. And Daniel Batman must get an honorary mention as well. He made a big save late for the second championship game running. A late save before the 90th minute that he made. He made one in injury time last week against Millwall that kept us with the 3 points, and he did it again today. Daniel Batman had hardly anything to do the entire game. But what makes Batman a better goalkeeper this season is his awareness, his spatial awareness, his kicking's a bit better, his distribution's better, and he's still a very good shot stopper. And he stopped a really important shot today, late on, one-on-one. Fantastic stuff. Matt on YouTube has talked to us, and Matt says, yes, another great win. What a stinging start for the Golden Boys after the 0-0 at the end of the first half. My man of the match has to be Ido Kayembe. Get in there, you mighty, mighty Watford, says Matt. Matt, thank you very much indeed for that message. On YouTube, you can watch live on You ORNS WFC on the YouTube channel. You can also listen in live on X at You ORNS WFC for the You ORNS post-match. It's great to have you aboard. If you would like to contribute anything to the conversation, you can type your message into the You ORNS live chat on YouTube, or you can hit that request button at the bottom of your phone on X right now and have your say, Watford fans. It's always great to hear from Watford faithful, especially after a win, after Watford 3, Stoke City 0. This was a game I thought that Watford would win 3-1. When I was on Instagram this morning before the start of the game here in San Francisco, I predicted Watford 3, Stoke City 1. But my goodness me, I was almost correct. But thankfully, I was wrong because we got the clean sheet that we really, really would love to have more often at the Vic. That's 2 clean sheets inside of 4 days now? I mean, inside of 5 days? 2 clean sheets in 5 days at the Vic. That's something that is really pleasing. So very, very pleased with this, an all-around team effort. You know what's good about this defense? They don't panic. Last week, even though it got a bit nervy, they didn't make any panic moves. They helped each other. They fought for each other, and they made the simple clearance rather than trying to be fancy. And that's what I'm really proud of with this Watford side, a defense that does the job quietly, efficiently, carefully. And Matty Pollock embodied that once again today on that right side of that back three. In the middle was Sierralta. I thought Sierralta had a nice game again. Quiet, effective, no muss, no fuss. I thought again, Sierralta's terrific. He didn't really put a foot wrong. He got the yellow card late, but doesn't he always get a yellow card? Doesn't Sierralta always get a yellow card? Look, he does his job well. No complaints about him. Of course, there was no Wesley Hood today. He's expected to be back sometime this month. No Ryan Porteous today, demoted to the bench because of what was called a minor illness. But look, the bottom line, I thought Sierralta was terrific today. What did you think about that? Jack has told us on YouTube, amazing game, didn't put a foot wrong. Yes, Jack, I totally agree with you. I assume you are indeed talking about the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Sierralta. He was terrific. And sometimes some of the best players are the ones you really don't notice. When our lot put in a shift like this, some of the unsung players who do so many good things are the ones that you don't really notice. And Sierralta was one of them today. I could not be prouder of the effort that Sierralta put forth. I could not be prouder of the effort that Vakun Bio put forth. I could not be prouder of this entire team. And one of the things, and by the way, Watford supporters on X, if you're listening, please hit that request button and have your say today on Watford 3, Stoke City 0. Jack, again, coming in from Australia. An amazing watch, he says. Is that you, Jack Taverner? I don't know. We'll find out, won't we, on Instagram Live coming up a bit later. Jack, thank you very much for your comments. All the way from down under. It is early Sunday morning in Australia. Wherever you are, Watford supporter, it's a pleasure to have you aboard here. Omar here in San Francisco, California, where the sun is coming up. It is Watford 3, Stoke 0. Maybe that's why it's sunny here in foggy San Francisco. The sun has come up for the Golden Boys today. The sun has come up. The sun has come up. Get in, you Golden Boys. The sun has come up. Yes, indeed. And of course, lots of heroes today. I welcome you all, one and all, to this post-match edition of You ORNS Post-Match here on You ORNS WFC on X, and of course on the You ORNS WFC YouTube channel on YouTube, live, where you can watch and type in your comments as well. If you have anything to say for the Watford supporter, it's always great to have you in the building. Hit that request button and let's talk Watford FC today after Watford 3, Stoke 0. I predicted on Instagram before this game started that Watford would win 3-1. I was very close, but I'm glad I'm wrong, because a clean sheet is absolutely what we deserve today. We were very good. Stoke City came in. There were a lot of people very nervous about this game because Stoke had their 100% record. They beat Carlisle in the Cup earlier this week, and the week before that, the weekend before, a 1-0 win over Coventry. They had kept, I think, 2 clean sheets, and they looked very, very strong in the first few minutes. It turned out that after the first 5 minutes of this game, Stoke didn't do a thing afterwards. And look, they should have scored in the second minute. They had a very good chance. They did eventually come to nothing. And Stoke did not get heard from again the entire game. I don't understand why Steven Schumacher, listen, I don't care. But from a neutral point of view for a second, if I take my Watford hat off, I do not understand why Steven Schumacher elected to go narrow with his defending. So his back line was so narrow, and it gave us so much width down the left and the right flanks. And time again, Jeremy Ngaki, who played well, was feasting down that left side I don't know for the life of me why Schumacher, the head coach of Stoke, didn't change that up. He didn't change that the entire game. And you knew what was coming at halftime. You knew that because Jeremy Ngakia was a right-sided left flank player on that left wing, there was going to be an adjustment made. I was crying out for Ken Sema to come in at halftime, but instead, I think Tom Cleverley did one better. He brought in Larouci, and Larouci showed you how good he is as a proper left-footed, left flank player. He was outstanding in that second half. Larouci made all the difference. He did all the little things well. Really intelligent player. He knows when to let go of the ball. He knows when to take a strike at the ball, at the goal. And he was brilliant today. I love Larouci. Goodness me, can he start these games instead of Ngakia? Nothing against Ngakia. I thought he had a good game today, Jeremy Ngakia. But my goodness me, Larouci, my gosh, you've got to put him in. At this point, he's a youngster. Yes, he's maybe not had a lot of minutes. I think he played a bit on Tuesday against the MK Dons, but you cannot be shy about putting in a player with the kind of potential that he has, because you can just see what he looks like. He is the genuine article. Jack on YouTube comes in again and he says, our midfield, I thought our midfield, says Jack, was superb today. Started our counterattacks every time. You know what? Again, Jack, you're absolutely right. I 100% agree. Our midfield today was excellent. How many times do we get to say that? You know, since we've changed things and put Edo Kayembe much more in a forward attacking position on the right, our midfield has prospered. It's become more disciplined. It's become more centralized. There's a lot more stature about us in midfield now. TDB alongside Musa Sissoko. And look, let's be honest, Musa Sissoko really does add stature to us. We were a little bit thin in midfield at times last season. We were left wanting in midfield at times. But my goodness me, when you've got a warrior out there, an intelligent footballer like Musa Sissoko, an absolute statue there in the midfield, holding alongside TDB, that's a really good pairing for us. It really helps us. It balances us out. It gives TDB position to be on the ball, permission to be on the ball a bit more, and then he can thread that ball through. So that's the connective tissue that we've missed a lot. Our midfield pipeline to our forward line players has been very, very poor over a number of seasons. But you see in the early stages of this season under Clevs, he's got that balance right now in midfield. He trusts TDB. You heard about Troy Deeney bigging up TDB before the season, the diamond in the rough. And I believe him. I totally believe him. TDB has the signs now to become a bona fide fixture here at Vicarage Road. He is a leader. He has more confidence in him. You see how he drives forward with the ball. He's willing to go forward. He doesn't go from side to side. He's somebody who loses the ball very rarely. And even when he loses it, he runs to try to get the ball back. He doesn't feel sorry for himself because he lost possession. He immediately tries to recycle that ball. That is a player you want. That's a player who's chasing down every lost cause for you. And I think that that is a real indicative bit of trust that Tom Cleverley, who's becoming a very good manager here. I know it's only a few months. I don't want to get too carried away with Clevs, but Clevs has done a very good job. His substitutions were absolutely on the money today. No complaints with that. He had the sense of the game correct. You know, sometimes in some of these games, some managers make hasty moves just to shake things up for the reason of just shaking things up. But Tom Cleverley today, very disciplined with the substitutions. I love the way he waited to see what was going on. He didn't react to all the Stoke subs immediately when they made their triple change. He was very measured and disciplined and careful about how he subbed. He brought on Larouci at halftime, which was the move we had to see. We had to see somebody come on because Ngakia does not have, you know, again, he's a right-footed left player on that left wing back. So that's just the way it is. You had to make the change. As good as look, I thought that Ngakia was terrific, but again, he's not a left-footed player. So you're going to have to make that change. If Stoke's giving you all that width down the left side, you've got to make them pay for it, and we did. All them goals that came second half were all because of Larouci being on the pitch, stretching the pitch, making that incisive pass, making that run. One of those balls was from Larouci. The ricochet came, I think, to Ryan Andrews, and he put the ball home. It might have been one of the goals from Kayembe as well, whichever. But listen, Larouci was a very important part of this game. That's not to take anything away from Georgie or anybody else who was terrific. Larouci made a big difference coming on that pitch because he gave you that proper left-footed, left side, left wing-back player. And he made all the difference bombing forward. his composure in the penalty box. I know that Robert Neild has come in and said on YouTube, anyone have a clip of the penalty? I don't know, Robert, if you're talking about the pull down of Larucci, because it could have been a pen. I don't know what anybody thinks on X. You're more than welcome to chime in about that. But I will tell you that this was one of them kind of games that Watford should have scored at least 4 or 5. We played well in this game. We absorbed the pressure from the early parts of the game, the first 5 minutes, and we kicked on. More comments from you on YouTube. Matt says Tom Cleverley yet again with the great choice of a starting lineup and perfect timing of the subs. That's what we've needed in a manager over the past seasons. Absolutely, Matt. I'm with you 1000%. I think Tom Cleverley today got everything right in the starting lineup. I think that's very good. I mean, you can't leave Ngakia on the bench, can you? He did good against Millwall. He was decent there. You're not going to make that change after a win unless there's injuries. And of course, Ryan Porteous, who was we are told had a minor illness, was dropped to the bench. And I thought James Morris did a pretty decent job. Listen, I am not really the biggest James Morris fan. I thought he's declined a bit since he really was good a season or two before. But James Morris came in and did his business, went about his business well. No complaints there from me about James Morris. Then I think, didn't he get subbed off? I don't even remember if he got subbed off or not. I honestly don't remember. I think he stayed on the entire game. But the bottom line is that this Watford team looks like a team now. It looks like these Golden Boys know exactly what they expect. They know what's asked of them. They know exactly what they're doing. You know, when we would watch as fellow Watford supporters, we'd watch this lot and we'd wonder, like last season, season before, what are they doing? What are they doing? We saw that, didn't we? A couple of seasons ago, we wondered, what was this Watford side up to? What were they doing? What was the purpose? People playing individual games of football on the pitch at the Vic, frustrating us as home fans. We're sitting there going, what's this going on here? And that's what we saw, didn't we, a couple of seasons ago, even parts of last season under Val Ishmael. We were wondering, what are these players doing? What are they up to? But listen, when Tom Cleverley came in here, I thought I was very optimistic about what he could do. I thought that he should be given the job. Don't bring him in for just the last 9 or so games of the season. Let the man see what he can do. He's a club favorite. The players, the fans love him. The players love him. The players have played with him when he was in the Premier League with us, of course. He was the under-18s head coach, and it made sense to me not to go for some big-name head coach. It made all the sense in the world to me to go and stick with Tom Cleverley. Stick with one of the players who's an ambassador to your club, a player who was a club captain here, a player who had at least 2 different spells at Watford. This man, Tom Cleverley, is absolutely revving it up right now. And all those Watford fans who said that Watford would be in a relegation scrap this season, I think you are eating your hat. Where are those Watford fans now who said that Watford would be in a relegation scrap? Can't hear you. Where are you? I don't know where you are, but I know it's only 2 games into the championship season. But this, for the Watford fans, caps off an outstanding week, an outstanding 8 days, isn't it? I mean, we started off last week at Millwall. I thought we dug in our heels against a tough Millwall side in that second half. We got over the line, found a way to win. That's the difference for me. This team, after just 3 games, knows how to win. They're finding ways to win. They're being aggressive about finding ways to win. And you saw that again today. They didn't sit on their heels. They didn't sit on their laurels after 1-0. They went for 2, doubled their lead less than 95 seconds later. 2-0 Watford against Stoke. And again, within about 10, 15 minutes after that, Ido Kayembe made it 3. This is a Watford side now that's got an appetite for wins, an appetite for winning. And this is a Watford side that is not playing negative football. We saw today no negative football from Watford. We saw today a Watford attitude in the spirit. Tom Cleverley calls for a winning appetite from this team, especially at the Vic, where we have become truly unstuck over the last few seasons. And today we've got exactly what we were looking for, a Watford victory and a commanding performance against a Stoke side who are not easy to deal with, against a Stoke side who had been previously unbeaten. Look, you cannot deny that this Watford side have a bit about them this season, despite the fact that it is early doors. Watford doing very well indeed so far. 3 wins from 3, a 100% record. And look, the other thing you've got to look at, we've got another home game next week. We are in the middle of 4 consecutive home matches. That is an absolute bit of paradise for us, because if we can win next week against newly promoted Derby at the Vic, that will be very promising indeed. I expect that we will get that done. And of course, the following week after that, it's a Carabao Cup game at the Vic, of course, against Wayne Rooney's lot in Plymouth Argyle. That should also be something we should be aiming to get a win from as well. So this will build confidence for us as a Watford side, and these lads are definitely taking everything in stride. Tom Cleverley will not allow these lads to sit there and be complacent. Don't fall in love with yourselves after a 3-0 win, because there's work to do, of course, next weekend against the likes of Derby County. Look, we should get back a couple more players. Hopefully there'll be some activity in the transfer market. I would love to see that. I think that would be very important. Let me just read out something from Matt once again. And thank you, Matt. And thank you, everybody, Matt, Jack, Robert, and everybody on YouTube who have been commenting. Let me read out Matt's comment. At the start of the season, Matt says, "It now looks like the players are actually playing for the shirt, the manager and the fans, not just for the money, which is what I'm loving to see," says Matt. Matt, 110% there with you. You can tell, can't you, Matt? You can tell that these players are committed to the Watford cause. They're playing for the shirt. They're playing for the badge. They are absolutely playing for this club. And they are not just only playing for their wages, as you said. That is indeed a lovely thing to see. We all love that as a Watford supporter. We all love the fact that these lads are putting in a shift. The heroes of the day, well, the heroes of the day are the entire team. If I had to single out the man of the match for me, the You ORNS man of the match would have to be Ido Kayembe. He has scored twice today, and that adds to the tally that he had last Saturday against the Millwall team at the Den. 3 goals in 2 championship games now for Ido Kayembe. And of course, look, Ido's got 3 goals, and that is a really good thing. Putting him in that right side, he looks very, very good up there now in an advanced role. I think he looks like he has not lost a step at all. Really good stuff from him. That is it on X here from this particular You ORNS post-match. I think Watford now go into the next game against Derby County with a lot of confidence, with a winning attitude. And listen, when you can win games at home, it does make your mindset a lot more of a positive one. You are not dreading the home fans. You're absolutely embracing them. You're playing with confidence. You're playing with an attitude that says, right, we're going to do whatever we can to take this game on. And even in the first 15 to 20 minutes, when Stoke had a bit of the ball in the first 10, 15 minutes, Watford started to turn the tables of this game. One of the things you know about this team is that they do turn the composure and tempo over when they're facing these teams. They did it against Millwall. They got the balance right in the first half after Millwall had a good spell. Second half, they had to hold on against Millwall. But in this game against Stoke, after Stoke had a first good 5 minutes or so and had a go, Watford began to grow into the game and put their stamp on the game in what was a rather scrappy first half, to be honest. But Watford, you could see, even in the scrappy first half, began to turn the screw on this Stoke City side. They just didn't have that final ball going for them. That's what they didn't have in the first half. And one of the reasons why that was is that Jeremy Ngake, again, right-footed player on that left flank as the left wing back, that really did not work for Watford, although Ngake executed very well. That final ball just wasn't there. And so Tom Cleverley very smartly made the change at halftime, brought in a left-footed left wing back in the likes of Larouci, had him bomb forward, and he supplied that ball that penetrated that Stoke line and got them into all kinds of bother in that second half. I just don't know. Again, from a football, again, I'll take my Watford hat off. I'll say it again. I just don't know for the life of me why the Stoke City manager, Steven Schumacher, did not change that formation and did not disrupt the width, because they played so narrow in this game. There was acres of space for Watford wingbacks to bomb forward and penetrate the penalty box and get that ball in across the 18-yard box and do some real damage. And for the life of me, Steven Schumacher, I don't know if he was frozen or whatever, or his coaching staff were frozen, but they just did not make adjustments. And they just said, all right, we'll invite you on. And they got punished for it. I dare say that Stoke will change that routine next game. But look, from a Watford perspective, I don't care about that. I am very pleased with this win, as are you as a fellow Watford fan. Always a pleasure to have you aboard here on YouTube live on the post-match and on X and the You Orns post-match. I am going to bring this all to a close now. I want to thank each and every one of you for listening in on X, each and every one of you for watching on YouTube on the You Orns WFC YouTube channel, and for your comments on the channel as well. Thank you so much for that. Please subscribe to the You Orns WFC YouTube channel, and of course, follow along on X at You Orns WFC, and follow along on Instagram at You Orns WFC. And Instagram is where I'm going right now to do You Orns Extra on Instagram live after Watford 3, Stoke City 0. We'll have some live video chats if possible, and we will do a quiz perhaps as well. Thank you very much, everyone, on both YouTube and on X for watching live the You Orns post-match. Always a pleasure. Omar here in sunny San Francisco, California, wishing everybody a very good evening around the world. Watford supporters, get the win today at the Vic. Tom Cleverley, 3 wins from 3 games in just about 8 days. That is a fantastic week for your Golden Boys. On to the next Saturday against Derby County. Watford 3, Stoke 0, the final score today from the Vic. The goals from Ido Kayembe in the 47th minute, and in the 49th minute, Ryan Andrews, terrific football from him today to make it 2-0. And then Ido Kayembe later on with his 3rd of the season and the 2nd of the contest. Watford then in really good shape so far. So far, so good. Now let's get some players in here before the transfer window closes. Matt, come on, you on, says Matt on YouTube. Thank you very much, everyone, Matt, and to everyone listening and watching. It's on to Instagram right now for You Orns Extra on Instagram Live at You Orns WFC. Until next weekend, You Orns. Have a good night, everyone, and see you on Instagram coming up live at You Orns WFC on Instagram. Join us over there, won't you, for You Orns Extra on Instagram Live. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening on X and for watching on YouTube. Have a great Saturday night, everyone. Be well and take care.